Hi, I'm Rex Burks.
And I'm Owen Younger.
And we are the Skeptical Texans.
And we watch Atheist Edge. And so should you.
All right, guys, welcome to this stupid game show I just thought up. All right, so here's
way to bring people on board. You know.
That's the entire premise of our YouTube channel. The stupid shit we made up. Anyway,
we're so buttoned down and formal around here. Okay, so it's 10 items. I'm gonna say the item. It's gonna be a quote or a saying or a passage or a verse or whatever. And then I'm going to give a couple seconds. No one talk. I'm going to give a couple seconds. And then I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Everyone's going to hold up either a 1 or a 2. All right? 1 means it's in the Bible. And 2 means I don't think it's in the Bible. So this one, number 1. 3 wise men from the Orient arrived at Jesus' nativity. Don't hold up your hands. Number 1. 3 wise men from the Orient arrived at Jesus' nativity. All right, ready?
All that specific information is supposed to be in the Bible?
Everything I just said. 3 wise men from the Orient arrived at Jesus' nativity. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, so...
Everybody thinks no.
Okay, discuss why it's not. You're correct.
I have no idea.
Did you say from the Orient or on the Orient?
From the Orient.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different technically. Like it's like I forget the term magi specifically. It's in the Bible.
Can you tell us what part of that isn't?
The nativity. I thought
wise men roughly translate to magi, and magi are actually astrologers, but they could be considered wise men, so that's correct.
Okay.
They were from the East, not necessarily from the Orient, so that could or could not be correct. But 3, that was the killer.
Okay.
Because it never says 3. It was definitely 2 or more, but it never actually came out and said 3.
Interesting.
But doesn't it say like 3 give the 3 gifts?
3
and
gifts,
so people
but not
think it's
3
3
magi.
because there's
Right.
3
It
gifts.
wasn't considered his nativity until after the fact, correct?
Well, nativity means Jesus' birth.
Well,
And
Yeah.
there's questions between what's in songs and what's in the Bible. Because holiday songs, I believe it's three wise men divorced, but that doesn't mean that's what was actually written.
yeah, and when were those songs written?
Right,
Like
right.
how much later were those songs written
Right.
too? But also like you talk about like what's in popular culture around these subjects and what's actually biblical. Things like angels' wings are not biblical either. And like the concept of angels having wings comes from early Christian paintings to differentiate humans from angels. And so the idea that like, oh, I saw a vision of an angel and their wings were really beautiful, you know that that's based on popular culture because it is not biblical. And it's very interesting.
Well, is it not that angels don't have wings, but according to books like Ezekiel, they have like 7 wings and 9 eyes, and they're shaped like wheels, and they have the head of a goat.
There's like these rings that are lined with eyes, and that's like one of the angels. Like they have very different characteristics than looking like human beings who just happen to have wings on, right? Yeah. Very, very different.
Would it be awesome to have like all the stained glass windows be of like wheel-eyed angel, 9-wing lion bats?
Yeah.
That'd be a kick-ass church.
So that
looking at the
Saint.
yeah.
Or in Revelation, isn't there a dragon with 10 heads and crowns on his head and all kinds of
Game
crazy?
of Thrones?
Well, it's like the head of a lion and the tail of a dragon or something like that. Well, there's also like Christian phrases like the bumper sticker that says don't drive faster than your angel can fly. That kind of thing isn't based in scripture, obviously, because angels don't have those characteristics. So it's just interesting.
But interestingly, if you look to other religion, things like Egyptian religion, you get a lot of those other very non-human looking gods. So you're wondering who's
And
pulling
from
what from
Morphic.
where
Oh yeah.
at that point. Shiva.
Right. Shiva with multiple arms.
You guys ready for number 2? Here we go. Number 2.
Yeah, I can do it number 2 right now.
Money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Tilden thinks it is in the Bible. Everyone else thinks it's not.
Not in such specific terms.
Okay. Timothy 6:10 says money is the root of all kinds of evil. So it's false.
That's stupid.
So
All
it
right.
does say it is the root of all. Well,
Now, is it like?
we're going for
All
semantic
evil?
questions.
Yeah.
I know.
Isn't that still all evil? All kinds of evil.
Yeah.
Well,
Is like literally.
It doesn't encompass all evil, though.
It is the root of all kinds of evil.
but
hence
not
all
every
kinds.
evil.
Well, all kinds of
Yeah,
evil
all
would
kinds
mean
is
all evil.
That's true.
It also could
Every
be interpreted
kind of-
as all
Look,
kinds, but
look,
not the sum total of all evil.
Okay, but now we go to
Wait,
translation.
Who here knows biblical Greek?
They got paid by
What is
the
a
word.
translation of all kinds?
I think this is not a good yes or no question.
All right, Tilden, I'll
Fine,
give
but
you
not
credit for
every
that.
single version of every
Did you
single.
hear me?
No, that
Right.
doesn't make sense.
They got paid by a word.
A word count?
Why else would they
Yep.
write it
Oh
down?
my
Sarah's
God.
right. That one could be. That one could be
the
correct.
Love of money.
Well, and the thing that made me say no to that is money in particular. I felt like that concept, I guess, wouldn't have been something that early or something like that. I mean, not the concept of money, but just money being the root of all evil. I don't know. That seems a little bit more like a modern phrase than an older one.
Death penalty for gay sex. It's not a quote. Just is the Bible? Does the Bible contain a death penalty for gay sex? 1, 2, 3, go.
Wait. I hear which one's which.
Wait, 3 of you think it's not in the Bible?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Death
Caden,
penalty.
Tilden, you don't think the Bible calls for death for gay sex?
No,
I don't think so.
I think
There's
Oh,
a
you don't either.
There's a
No.
specific reason that I'm saying what I'm saying.
All right, why?
So in the official translation that hasn't been edited, it says "Man shall not lay with boy," basically saying don't be a pedophile rather
Right.
than don't
Right.
be gay.
I don't know
Right.
what version of the Bible you're going with, but here is Leviticus 20:13. If a man practices homosexuality, having sex with another man as with a woman, both men have committed a detestable act. They must both be put to death, for they are guilty of a capital offense.
No,
Where does it
that's
say
not-
about two
That's not
women?
what it says. It says lay with another man.
And it does say lay with another man. And
So
what
what
about
does
So
Lay
no
power.
little spoon, big spoon. Is that what?
Lay
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You know
Lay
what
singles, lay towels. I mean,
You know what they're talking about when they say lay with another man. That's,
Correct me.
that's a
I've never
euphemism.
been there.
That's a euphemism.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it does apply to both.
I've laid
technically,
asphalt with
but
other men. And I, hope
I think it does specifically talk about lesbians in Romans also.
Oh.
Am I wrong, Chris?
Well, in Romans, I think it's talking about
Laying with
like
men.
specifically temple,
They just let the word out.
like
for, I guess they
temple
were sure, I don't
virgin
know.
prostitutes or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I think
Rome was
it's
pretty gay as a whole.
yeah,
I love
Yeah.
this kid.
yeah. That's
So
Yeah.
great.
Rome was
that's what we learned in history class. Is above all,
You
Rome
should see him
was
play Cards
totes
Against
gay.
Humanity.
Oh,
Yeah.
No filter.
Aw.
No filter.
That's
It was a
awesome.
close- It was a close game.
It was a close game. So what's the final? So your verdict is that it is in the Bible. That's what we're going
I
with.
think it's death penalty for gays,
Okay.
but
That makes-
for gay
okay.
sex. Now, just for being gay, it's the act that carries the death penalty in the Bible.
Is it only for men?
But and that's
well.
where we just got.
That's
Yeah.
On the screen above them right now, if I can find the lesbian passage. If it's not, it won't be there. But I think it actually talks about lesbian sex. Too.
How about the animals?
There's lesbians behind us?
That's all we can show on YouTube.
Oh
They're just
no.
waiting for one to make the first move.
All right, number 4.
Let's go.
Number 4.
Oh my god.
This is a quote. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. 1, 2, 3, go. No one thinks it's in the Bible. Everyone's correct.
Good job, everyone.
Okay, we can move on. I'm fine.
I think
The
that came
the
afterward.
passage first appeared in a speech in a sermon by John Wesley in 1778.
Way later.
Like, let's not have any more plagues.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. It's not a quote either. Masturbation is a sin. Masturbation is a sin. Ready?
Is it?
1, 2, 3, go.
No idea.
James thinks it is in the Bible. Canaan thinks it's in the Bible. Everyone else thinks it's not.
Get those words up, because it's being semantics with words, like how exactly it's phrasing it.
Yeah, how are we determining whether
Because-
we're right or wrong about
Thou
that?
Does the
shalt.
Bible
There's not a law or
penis.
commandment about
Yeah.
it.
does the Bible specifically mention masturbation as a sin or as something that you shouldn't do?
It mentions spilling your seed as a sin, specifically.
Well, that was a specific instance because
That
we
doesn't
were
have
talking about
masturbation.
Onan,
Right.
the famous Onan, but
Is that
the
when
sin
you're
there,
Sowing your seeds in the
Wait,
field, or
Tilden.
it could be both.
I thought babies are born, right?
Jer-
It shouldn't be a sin.
Yeah, you can't jerk it in a field. That's weird. No, the Onan issue, which has been brought up as support of anti-masturbation, the sin there was not the actual. The sin was, he was supposed to be.
Oh my God.
He was supposed to be. It was dead brother's wife. He was supposed to be making kids with his dead brother's wife to proceed with a family line, and so he was disobeying God's commandment by spilling his seed, not specifically the act itself.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. 1 Corinthians 6:18.
I know my masturbation, folks.
Oh
Guess
no.
what's going in the outtake?
If you would like that as a
I would have
ringtone.
thought that would have been bad, but I mean, with the right hand.
1 Corinthians
It's
6.
a Catholic thing.
Let not your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
Well,
You just
you
gotta
have to use
hold
both
hands with God with one hand.
And
Yeah.
talking for myself.
We could talk about this for hours, but let's move
All
on.
right, Jim, you go ahead.
1 Corinthians 6:18 talks about sexual sins but doesn't define them. Also in Genesis 38, 8 through 10, Yahweh didn't kill Onan, just as Chris was saying, Yahweh did not kill Onan for masturbating, as many Christians think. He actually killed Onan for refusing to knock up his sister-in-law. So he was killed.
The Bible's great.
He was killed for pulling out. It wasn't masturbation.
Oh God, this is ridiculous.
I mean,
Anyway.
So again, spilling seed doesn't have to come from doing it yourself.
That's true.
That's a nice turn of phrase up there. What you just said. Going on.
Okay, what are we on? Number 6. It's not a quote either. It's just information. Consensual sex between two unmarried adults.
You want to say that again?
Consensual
There you
sex between two unmarried adults. That doesn't even. Why did I write it like
That's
that?
not a
I don't know,
question.
Jim.
Is
Jim just wanted to talk about
Is
premarital-
sex.
that a sin?
Premarital
Is it a
sex.
sin? Yeah, premarital sex.
Okay,
Two?
say it one more time.
Is it a sin to have sex between two unmarried adults?
No, say it again. From the way you phrase it.
Consent.
Yes.
No, phrase it.
Consensual sex between two unmarried adults. Is that a
How
sin
many
or
ways
not
can
in
we
the
say
Bible?
that?
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. No one thinks it's in the Bible. All right.
The Bible has many places where.
Am I right?
Sex with a slave or
Thessalonians 4:3, 1 Thessalonians 4:7, and what's COL? Is it Colossians? Colossians 3:5 warns against vague sexual immorality, but no specific act is mentioned.
That always makes me
So-
want kolaches.
Yes, I mean.
That's everybody.
Hold on.
Sweet.
We-
I'm going to go have sex right
We
now.
can nip that in the bud
my
right now.
God.
What happened with Mary? Did she consent?
no,
Oh, that's such a good point.
Oh, but would that be considered?
Tilden.
Hold on, but would that even be considered two consenting or non-consenting adults?
Right.
She wasn't an adult.
Well,
She,
and
well,
she was
that's
a-
not even.
Oh,
I was
that's
going-
fine,
I was
though.
going for it to be considered not as an adult
mean,
or an entity.
About age,
are we looking at
She
the
was
Bible
childbearing
for
age, but there
of
no
age
Back
consent,
then-
or
back
are we
then
just kind
it
of
was-
ignoring that,
she wasn't
especially
an
in
adult.
Catholicism?
no age is mentioned, but
She-
what's the Greek alma means usually tends to mean a very young Jewish maiden.
I was going more for the other side of, are we considering the God side of that as an adult?
Oh.
Or are we omnipotent,
Oh,
all
okay.
being ethereal? Can
Good
there
point.
be adult-child issues there?
It's commonly true. That's a great.
But that
point.
wasn't your question.
Right.
Well, but that is a good point of Mary not consenting to that too. Like that's insane. She's kind of a chosen person to
It's like, oh, yeah,
bear
you know
children.
what?
She's generally believed to have been about 15 or 16 when it happened.
Which at the time was not
That's
the
like
same
it's
as
like
it is
that's like
now.
35 in modern age.
Right. That
You
was
also-
halfway- you were halfway
Because they
through your
live
life.
to 19, so.
And
You also
if you
can't like
believe in
abort the Messiah.
If
That's
you
not
believe
good
in the
either.
Trinity, how old was Jesus?
That's
I
my
mean,
next
you
song
could.
name.
You could.
There were some protesters at Planned Parenthood of
That's
Judea.
really-
and-
That's really young.
Is that a good song?
That's my new song name.
I want to do it. Abort the Messiah. I love it so much.
Let's not give the protesters any more signs to make.
Oh no.
What if Mary? Let's not.
All right, number 7.
Mary's a rape victim. Anyway, go ahead.
Number 7. Adulterous wives are forced to get abortions.
What?
In the Bible, this is in the Bible, or is it not in the Bible? Adulterous wives are forced to get abortions. 1, 2, 3, go. Chris is the only one that got it right. Do you want to explain, Chris?
I think there's a passage in like Numbers where it talks about there's an adulterous woman, the high priest has to mix up some sort of potion that will induce. It talks about it in really crazy terms because it talks about like her thigh instead of her vagina or some weird Bronze Age jargon. But it's basically they mix up a potion and it induces abortion, which oddly enough no anti-abortion Christians seem to be aware of is in their book.
You nailed that shit.
Adultery was to be stoned to death, but I suppose in stoning to death by default, you are also thereby aborting. But
Right.
But yes, I mean the concoction thing is a big thing
Chris
that people
nailed it.
leave out, but
Interesting.
it's in there somewhere.
It was in Numbers too, so you got that correct as well. Numbers
It has
5.
to be an asterisk there, Ron. I still don't.
Well, and even today within the Muslim faith, you've got the narrative of women who are rape victims who are married are accused of adultery and are stoned to death, and then if they're not married, they're forced to marry the perpetrator. So that's a fun little fact, and that's also biblical as well.
You have Numbers 5:11 through 31. The mandatory abortion procedure. It's described in detail. It includes making a woman drink dirty water. You mix sand with water, make her drink it, and it forces an abortion.
I'm gonna have to question the medical validity of that.
Yeah.
It was designed as a test to see whether or not that the conception of the child was God ordained. Specifically. That's not an actual, like, a commandment to abort the child, and that's the problem that I have with that scripture.
Someone got a smartphone on them? Look up Numbers 5:11. And I think it says something about, like, for the specific purpose of removing the fetus.
The intention is to test God and
Oh,
see
wow.
if it's
Don't look this up. I want to be right.
It'll be on the screen.
Wait. Oh, so you're saying that
If
if
Caleb's right,
it does
it'll be on
abort
the
the
screen.
child, then it wasn't ordained by God?
Yes.
I see.
That-
So the
If you're right, it's going to be on the screen. And if you're
That's the
wrong,
only
it's going to be on the
That's the only
screen.
reason I object to that question.
I'm just absolutely perplexed at how drinking sandy water could abort a child, but that's.
Yeah.
I see other ways that sandy water could have serious implications, but not drinking.
Yeah.
Number 8. This is a quote. God helps those who help themselves. God helps those who help themselves. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
That's true, right?
No one thinks it's in there. Does anyone know where it first appeared then?
Not working.
Probably in some kind of church.
Chris?
Well, in the 1697 treatise.
Billy Graham. No. Joe Osteen has to be.
I would say I would imagine fairly recently.
Prosperity gospel? I don't know.
And you got an idea, Chris? Our resident expert.
It's probably in the last 2 centuries. I don't think it's that old.
Ancient Greek writings.
Oh.
Then in the Quran, Surah 13:11, it is not in the Bible. In fact, Romans 5:8 specifically says we are incapable of helping ourselves. Only Jesus can help us. Number 9, if a burglar enters your home at night, you are permitted to kill him. If it's during the day, you are not permitted to kill him.
Is this just Texas law?
Is it in the Bible or not? If a,
Wait. Are you paraphrasing?
It's in the book
We'll
of
talk
Stand
about
Your
it afterwards.
Ground.
If a burglar enters your home at night, you can kill them. If it's daytime, you cannot. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Sounds too specific.
Caleb thinks it's not in the Bible.
That seems like a pointless distinction.
Everyone's
so
right
it's
except
It seems bizarre enough to be something that
Yes.
would be there.
so, like pointless enough to be like, all right, this came from the
It's
Bible.
got so many bizarre details that it's pretty much gonna be in there.
Yeah.
No one fakes that.
Exodus
hilarious.
22:2.
22.
Are you going to look it up? It's in there,
So it's
man.
in, yeah.
Okay. Number
it,
10,
yeah.
last one. Here we go. This is a quote. God works in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Are we talking that specific phrase or the concept?
That exact quote. 1, 2, 3, go. All right.
Oh, well, everybody's agreed.
Discuss. Everyone's correct.
Well, the Bible says stuff like, my ways are not your ways. There's stuff that implies, that's why I asked the question, because it definitely implies the concept.
Yeah, and I don't know when that came about, but it does seem like, a more modern phrase just because it's that phrase is usually brought out when you're trying to justify why something is contradictory to your concept of something about God. So usually it's like that God is a good God and like, oh, God works in mysterious ways because your child has cancer. And that kind of like rhetoric of, well, we need to explain away something that seems counterintuitive to the God that we think God to be. And the more that we learn as history progresses or as civilization progresses into the future, the more we have to justify and like make logical ends meet, I guess.
Yeah.
The closest thing the Bible has to that is Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. So,
My thoughts are higher than your thoughts, man.
What a narcissist.
thanks for playing, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.
I'm the only one with a different shirt than everybody else. in the
He's
other
only done one
video.
episode, so he doesn't need to
That's
change
so
his shirt
funny.
yet. I already changed. Our fans, we do so many episodes in one shoot. They say,
Well,
do you
yeah.
guys ever take a shower because we're all in the same shirt for
Yeah,
15 episodes?
Yeah, like it'll the same day will go for like a month at a time, and so like months and months of or a month or two of content, and it's like you're still wearing the same shirt.